Hello, folks. I'm here with Chris Ohlsen, Godley ISD school board candidate, place 3. Chris, I wanted to ask you something. Jeff Neal put out a video, and I responded to his video. It was a how and why. Talked about him and what he wanted to do and why you should vote for him. One of the things that Jeff mentioned was children in the district. He's got 5 kids in the district. One that's about to go in. Congratulations, Jeff. And he's going to, he's going to use those kids in the classroom. He says it gives him a quote unquote pulse into the classroom in the district. I guess he's maybe got some staged, different grades and whatnot. So he wants to use his kids to give him a pulse of the district. How do you, what's your idea on that?
Well, I think that's probably a good idea to use the kids as a sounding board, so to speak, to find out what's going on. But
it's just his kids, by the way.
Well, I understand, and that's something I was going to suggest. It's great if I talk to my own kids. They're going to tell me their story and their side of it, but I'm not going to get the other side of it unless I go myself and ask the questions of the teacher and the other students. I mean, there's 2,600 kids in Godley. I'm not going to count on 5 kids or even 10 kids or even 100 kids to tell me the whole story about 2,600 lives that I'm interested in, because every kid in that district belongs to me.
Gotcha. Okay. That was kind of my thinking, too, on that. So what do you plan to do if elected? How will you address the pulse of the district in the classroom and such?
I would dearly love for the opportunity to be invited into the classroom itself. I want to see the kindergarten classes. I want to see the 5th grade classes. I want to see the middle school and the high school classes. And I want to be able to talk to the teachers, because I want to know what's going on in that classroom. I don't mind sitting in an algebra class. I don't mind sitting in a history class. I like it all. But you've got to know what's going on in that child's mind, what's going on in that teacher's mind. Is that teacher able to reach those kids and get their attention and get them educated in that classroom? And if they're not, whose fault is it? It can't be one person. Can't be just the kids, can't be just the teacher, can't be the administration. It's got to be a conglomerate of things. You've got to ask the students, what are you getting out of this class? You got to ask the teacher, what are you able to get into this class for these students? Do you need other tools, other things in your classroom to help you reach these kids? And if you do, I want to try and get them for you.
Is this your approach you used in Joshua?
Yes, it always worked in Joshua.
Okay.
That was one of our requirements as a board member. You go to that campus, you meet with that principal, and then you talk to those teachers, and then you talk to those cafeteria staff. You find out what these people need and bring it back to the board. We will see what we can do to get it put together for them, because that's what they need to survive in their job and their career.
Okay.
And the students have a career too. It's called grades K through 12.
Are we a little bit lacking in academics at Godley right now?
As far as I'm concerned, yes. And there needs to be something done to address that problem. These kids are not being set up for success in the long run. They need to be reprogrammed, so to speak, in their thinking about why they're here at school. Mm-hmm. And what they're supposed to be doing here while they're here and what they're supposed to get out of it.
Do you have any problem at all with CTE programs, Chris?
Oh, Lord, no. I think CTE is one of the best things that could have ever happened to any school district, because when you get right down to brass tacks, not that many students want to go to college. They really don't. It's not for them. And if you put a kid in college that doesn't want to be there, you just set them up for failure, because they don't want to be there. I started college with 201 guys that I knew and knew well. And when I finished the first time around, there were only 3 of us that finished. Everybody else started and resigned from it within 2 years for whatever reason.
And it isn't necessary these
No.
days. You go to college and you pay a lot of money sometimes just to learn how to basket weave or something else like that.
That's true.
And I think that learning a trade is especially important. I mean, you can always go out there and make $1 welding or something, right?
Exactly right. And
I
that
used to
is
do it,
smart.
sweeping the floor. If I was in trouble, I'd go sweep the floor somewhere, But
I have done that.
there you go. So, all right. What else you want to say, Chris?
Well, I will say this about college. It's a wonderful place to be if you're designed for it.
Yeah.
If you're not designed for it, no. Go to that trade school. Learn a trade. Get out there and go to work. Be productive, not only for yourself, but for your community. I've got paper to hang on the wall, but I do not hang paper on the wall because paper does not make a man. It's who you are, and what you do for other people that makes a difference.
Gotcha. Chris Ohlsen, Godley ISD School Board, Place 3, folks. Get out and vote. It's early voting. What's today? Is today Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday through the 29th. Vote your conscience and vote for Chris. All right. Chris, we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks, for listening. Take care. Tonight, Greg Cooper's radio show.
Yes.
Greg Cooper's radio show. And let me ask you one more thing, Chris. I issued a challenge to Jeff Neal in a recent video, and I asked him to go on Greg's radio show with you, and you two hashed that out. What do you say to that?
I think that's a great idea.
I do too. I think that's a great idea. So, Jeff, come on out, talk Chris on Greg Cooper's radio show. You'll be treated fairly. All right, folks, take care.